Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Spontaneous attachment is something you feel. We all feel at times. But you rarely want to admit it out loud. That feeling of getting attached to someone for something so small. The way your mind latches onto someone after one good conversation or one moment of attention or even just the idea of who they might be. You've wondered, why am I like this? Why do I care so much, so fast? The reason no one likes to admit it is because most people assume it's a flaw, something broken, something embarrassing. But that's not the full story. There's something deeper happening underneath the surface, something that few will actually realize. But this is the real part that nobody likes to admit. The shameful taboo, if you will. When you get attached quickly, it feels like an obsession. Not in a scary way, but quietly, privately, where your mind keeps circling back to that same person. You replay conversations, you dissect small details, you imagine possibilities that haven't even happened yet. It's like your brain has grabbed onto someone and it refuses to let go. And the thing about obsession is that it's not random. It's not something that just appears out of nowhere. Obsession usually grows in the empty spaces. Those parts of your life where you feel lonely or unseen or misunderstood. When someone finally gives you attention or kindness or even just a moment of connection, it's like your mind treats it like oxygen. And once you've been starved of something for long enough, when there's been an empty hole, even a small amount of that something feels like it's enough to fill that hole. That's why attachment can feel so intense. It's not because you're being dramatic or because you're clingy. It's simply because your heart recognizes something that it's been missing. And when you've been missing something for a long time, you naturally just want to hold on to it with everything you have. There's a reason that attachment can feel so automatic. Your brain is wired to look for patterns that feel safe, familiar, or comforting. And when someone gives you even a small taste of that, your mind fills in the rest. You don't get attached to the person, you get attached to the feeling they give you. The feeling of being seen, chosen, understood, the feeling of being wanted. Those feelings are powerful, and they're rare, and logically you know that. And when you think you are experiencing them, your brain doesn't want to let go. So it holds on, even when it shouldn't, even when it's too early, even when the person hasn't earned that level of access to your heart. This is where attachment starts to look like obsession. Not because you're crazy, but because you feel, care, and invest in people deeply. And that intensity can be overwhelming. People who get attached quickly have something in common. They're afraid of being forgotten. Not in a write a poem about me kind of way, but in a quiet, subtle way. A fear that if you don't hold on tightly, the people you care about will drift away. That if you don't invest early, you'll miss your chance. That if you don't give everything, you'll end up with nothing. So you attach quickly because you're afraid of losing something before you even have it. And that fear makes sense, especially if you've been abandoned before, or ignored, or overlooked, or treated like an option. When you've lived through things like that, your heart becomes hyper aware of anything that feels like connection. You don't want to lose it, so you hold on. And here's the part that people don't talk about. Attachment isn't the problem. That fear underneath the attachment is. Again, most people treat attachment like a flaw, like something you need to fix, like something that makes you needy or fragile. But what if that's not true? What if the reason you get attached so easily is because you're passionate? Think about it. You don't have feel things. You don't have care. You don't have love. And you don't have invest. When you feel something, you feel it fully. When you care about someone, you care with your whole heart. When you connect with someone, you don't hold back. You don't ration your emotions. You don't play games. You show up. That's not a weakness, that's passion. And passion is rare. When you get attached quickly, it's not because you're broken. It's because you have a passionate heart that craves something real. But it doesn't have a productive avenue to place that energy yet. Attachment is passion without direction, and obsession is passion without grounding. But the core is the same. You feel deeply, you care deeply, you love deeply, and that's passion. The problem isn't that you attach easily. The problem is that you attach to the wrong things too quickly without giving yourself enough time to understand what's real and what's imagined. But the passion itself, that is a gift. People who feel deeply often grow up being told they're too much, too emotional, intense, or sensitive. So you learn to see your passion as a flaw. You learn to hide it. You stifle it. You mislabel it. You learn to apologize for it. And you learn to shrink it down so it doesn't scare people away. But shrinking yourself doesn't make you healthier. It just makes you smaller. Your passion isn't the problem. Your direction is. Imagine taking that same intensity, the same passion that makes you attach quickly, and channeling it into things that actually deserve it. Imagine putting that energy into your goals, your creativity, your growth, your future, or your purpose. The same passion that makes you fall too fast could make you unstoppable if you simply learn how to channel it. It's your heart telling you, I have a lot to give, and that's something a lot of people can't say. You get attached easily because you're built for connection, you're built for depth, you're built for meaning, and you're built for passion. You're not meant for shallow relationships. You're not meant for half-hearted conversations or people who don't fully show up. You're meant for intensity, honesty, and depth. And when you meet someone who sparks even a small part of that, your heart reacts instantly. Not because you're weak, but because you're wired for passion. The goal isn't to stop getting attached. The goal is to understand why you attach and to guide that energy instead of letting it run wild. You can still be passionate. You can still feel deeply, but you can learn to channel it correctly, slow down, and give your heart time to catch up with your imagination. Passion becomes powerful when it's directed. It becomes destructive when it's impulsive. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to guide who you are. So if you've ever wondered why you get attached so easily, maybe the answer isn't that you're broken. Maybe the answer is that you're just passionate. You're intense. You're emotionally alive in a world where most people are numb. And maybe the real challenge isn't to stop feeling so much, but to learn how to aim that feeling in the right direction.